to explore the fundamental use of Cepha in creating basic post and contour maps. So you basically use Cepha to create several types of maps, but this aspect is going to usually talk more about creating contour and post maps. But before that, anything we are going to talk about is in the tutorial inbuilt file in the help. Yeah, so Cepha has a built-in tutorial file that you can access whatever you want to do. So let's say you want to create a map, you want to create your own data using existing data, whatever you want to do. It's in an inbuilt Cepha folder so that you can use that. So in order to do that, you simply have to go to your home, then you go to your ribbon, then you scroll down, you're going to see tutorial. So you just collapse it. Let me expand this. Let me expand it. So you can actually see whatever you want to do in here. So let me just expand this. Yeah, so you can have access to, so you can be viewing and creating data, use the map wizard, changing layer properties, whatever you want to do. So whatever we are going to talk about here can be found in the tutorial folder. So let's go ahead. So before we proceed, usually because we are going to create maps, you have to be using a landscape format. That's the first thing you have to do. So you are going to change this portrait working space to a landscape format. So you just have to go to layout, then orientation, then you change it to landscape. So this is my working area. I'm going to work here. Now, yeah, so this is my working area. I'm going to work in here. Let's proceed. Now in Cepha, you can either use an existing folder or you're going to create your own data. Yeah, you can use an existing data or you can create your own data. So in so doing, but based on this tutorial, we are going to focus more on using an existing data. But before that, I'll teach you how to create your own data. So if you want to create your own data, you just have to go to File, then you go to New, then worksheet. So you select worksheet and it opens more like an Excel file. So in here, you can type your own data. Let's say Eastings here. Maybe when you went to the field, the values you took, you had Eastings, you had, let's say, Northings. And let's say you had elevation. You can just go ahead and type in your values, whatever you had. Then you can go ahead. So just like an Excel sheet, right? But Ceph also has inbuilt, or let's say inbuilt samples that you can work with. So that's what we are going to use for now. You realize that when you come to this tab, my plot has an asterisk, so has my sheet. This means that my work is not saved. So if you want to save it, after saving your work, this thing is going to, the asterisk over here is going to leave. Take note of that. So let me just close this because that's not what we are going to use. We are going to use an inbuilt working data sample. Yeah, that's what we are going to use. So in order to use that, first of all, you have to so you go to your home, then you come to Map Wizard, then you browse, then you scroll to this PC, then local disk C, and over here you look for program files, not this one, program files. Then you open the golden software, Cepha 16, then you look for samples. And in here, there are so many samples you can have access to, so many of them. So you can just access any of them. This is the inbuilt, assuming you've created your data on desktop, meaning that over here, you won't come here, you go to desktop to go and take it. But it will still be the same process. You go to your home, map wizard, then you browse to wherever you want to access, wherever the data is. But because Cepha has inbuilt data samples in here, that's why we came here. So in this tutorial, I'm going to use VOC concentration for the practice. So I just select VOC concentration, the Excel sheet, then I open, select it, then I open. So over here, it gives me a data preview, which I have to check if it corresponds. So A over here contains my X. So I have to make sure A over here contains my X. So A to X, that's right, B to Y, C to PPM. A to X, B to Y, C to T here, and that's correct. Assuming this doesn't correspond, you just have to click in here, this, then you can correct them. But since they correspond, I'll just have to leave it like that, and I go to next. So this layer 2, this helps me select the map type I want to create. So you can create several maps in here. But over here, I'm going to, since we are going to create a contour and a post map, I'm just going to select a contour here, and I select a post map. Then I just go to next. In here, it gives me the chance to select the gradient parameters. There are so many gradient parameters. We are going to use the gradient. Yes, this is the one we are going to use. So make sure you've selected gradient. Then also assign no data outside converse follow of data should be unchecked. So assuming in here this is checked, make sure yours is unchecked. Yes, you should uncheck it. Then you have to save it. So you just come here. There is a folder here. You save your work to your working folder. So I'm just going to go to desktop. I'm just going to save it. So GIS tutorial. I'm just going to save my work here. So let me just create a folder. Let's say Control Shift N. Let me save it. Server tutorial. It doesn't mean you should also save it, but you can save it anywhere you see. So I'm just going to save my work here. Then I just save it, and I can now go to finish. So my map, my contour and post map has been created. The next is to add a aesthetics to it. So I have to add a aesthetics to this. Now in doing that, before I can work on something, I have to make sure. So Zephyr has a content and also property window, a content window and a property window. So anything I add to this map will be selected in the contents, will be in the contents window. So if I want to edit anything, I have to make sure, first of all, it is checked and also it is selected. So let's say if I want to work on the right axis, which is this side, I have to make sure it is checked and it is selected. So let's see, what can I do to my right axis? I can add a title to my right axis. So when I select it, automatically the property window also open. So you can see title text. I can add a title text to this. So let's say, based on my data, that side was nothing. So I can put nothing in here. Press enter. So this so this is my right. So let's say let me just I want to do that for my left. So yeah, so my left axis, then more things. Realize that it has appeared here, but it's too small. So this is my font property. I can just collapse the font, scroll down, I can see font size, then I increase it a bit. Yeah, then I can as well make it bold. So I think I like it this way. Then I'll do same for my bottom axis. So let's say my bottom axis was my easterns. I'm just going to say easterns. Then again, increase my font size a bit. Then again, let's say I'll make it bold. Oh, this is too slowly. I think I prefer it this way. Yeah, I prefer it this way. So now the next thing I'm going to work on is I'm going to work on my contour. I'm going to work on my contour. I want to add contour or increase contour width and throw certain labels. So before I can work on my contour, I have to make sure my contour is selected. So I select contour here. Now I select general. I have several properties I can do here, but I'll go to levels. So in here, I can change, let me increase this so you can see. Level, I can change this minimum, let me increase this one. So minimum contour, I can change my minimum contour, I can change my maximum contour interval. So let's say I want to I can change my contour interval to 300 depending on what I want or what I've been asked to do. Major contour every. You can change that, but for this tutorial, I'll leave it. Now, you realize that my contour has no color, but I want a color. So I'm just going to check the fill contour. Then now it has a color, but I want to change the color. So this grayscale, I can just click here, and there are so many colors in here you can select from. So I'm just going to choose Rainbow 3. Then I have this. No, let me change it. let's say rainbow. Okay, so I think I want this. So I just select this. We can change my line properties. I can show major, so this show labels. I can show labels for minor contours, or I can decide not to show label for major contour. Can just edit my properties in here. Color scale. So this should have a color scale. So this color scale, I can just go ahead and check color scale. So now I have my color scale in here. Realize that the moment I check color scale, I now have color scale in my content. Then now there is one thing I want to show you in here too. So in here, you can add or remove a contour. So in order to add a contour, first of all, you have to make sure contour is selected. You want to add a contour, so you select the contour. Then you come to levels here. Then the level method, you change the level method from simple to advanced. Then the contour levels, you can see edit levels. So you select edit levels. So then you can add your contour in here. So which contour do you want to add? Let's say I want to add 900 contour. So since I want to add this 800 is 1000, since I want to add 900 contour, I'm just going to select the 1000 so that the 900 will be on top of it. I'm not going to select the 800 because when I select 800, then 900 can't be on top of it, right? So I'm just going to select 1000. So then I just add. Then the 900 has been created. Assuming that this is not what I want, so let me just remove this. Let's say I want to create 950. Again, 950 is less than 1000, so I'll select the 1000. Then I add. 900 has been created, but I want 950. So I just double click, then I change this to 950. Then okay, whereas 950 has been created. I can change the line width by double clicking on the line property here, double clicking here. I can change the width, the color, whatever. I can change this label. Maybe you realize that the label is no. If I want to show the label, I just double click to change it to yes. Then I can delete any contour. Then I now go to apply. Then okay. So you can do whatever you want to do in here. Let's say that with the color scale, so I want to edit the color scale. So I come to color scale, I select the color scale here. Then I can do whatever I want to do. So let's say I want to add a title. Let's say elevation. Realize that it has given me elevation at the left, but I don't want it at the left, so I'm going to choose right. No, I want to choose top. So top. Then it's too small, so let me increase the size. So let's say, then I'm going to make it bold. Yeah, so there's it. So I can now position it somewhere here a bit. You can as well be asked to add frequency and stuff to your color scale. So let's say I first select my color scale, and I can come to labels, and I can set the frequency. I can set the frequency here. So you can do whatever you want to do, provided you've been asked to, or let's say you've taken data from the field and you want to work on it, you can go ahead and work on it. Now, since we are creating a map, this isn't a map. A map should have a legend, and with this, so with this map is going to have a not arrow and let's say a scale. So if I want to add the scale, I just have to make sure I've selected my map. I select map in here. Then I come to features. Let me know map tools. Come to map tools, and I can add scale. So I add a scale. Then the scale appears in here. I just have to position it. Position it here. Yeah, I think it's not bad being here. It's not bad being here. Then if I want to edit the scale, I just have to make sure I've selected the scale. And I can change the number of cycles, let's say to 3. So I think 3 is okay. I can leave it here. I can do whatever, select it. I can change, let's say title. I can give it a title, maybe scale. I can do whatever I want to do. The font, the label format. You can just do that. Yeah, depending on what you've been asked to do, you can just go ahead and do that. Now I have to add a legend. In Surfer, if you want to add a legend, first of all, add a point, then change that point into a legend. So you come to features, then you can see add points over here, or even, but first select the map, select your map. Yeah, so when you select your map, you come to features, is it, or even your home. When you come to home, you can see add points here, or when you come to features, you can see add point here. So you add a point, and let's say I select a point. So the point has been added. Then now I come here to select the point. Then you can see GIS default symbols are symbol sets. I'm going to change it to GIS not arrows. Then I come to my symbol, then I can choose my not arrow. So let's say I want this. Yeah, so it has been added. Let me change my pointer back. Then I can go ahead and expand this a bit. Yes, so now I have my not arrow. I can put this here. Yes, so now I have I have a map. I have a map now. So let's pick an example, a full question, let's say an exams-based question, and see how to go about it. Let's try this example. So you can take a screenshot of it before I switch. Yeah. There's the example. You can take a screenshot of it. So I'll go back to myself. So it's using the well location worksheet in the Cepha samples folder. So we are going to use the well location worksheet in the samples folder, just as I said that I initially stated. So in order to do that, first of all, you know what to do. I'm going to work with in landscape. So layout, orientation, landscape. Yeah, so this is my worksheet. I'm going to work here. So I'm going to bring in the samples folder. So I just have to go to home, map wizard, then I browse, then this PC, local Dixie, program files. So I'm going to open my program files, then Golden Software, Cepha 16. Then I can, yeah, so samples. Then in here, I look for well location. So this well location, you realize that you have this and the .dat file, not the .dat file. You open this, so open. Then in here, I can just go to next. Then since it says we should create a contour map, just a contour map of the Z and properly label the axis. So I'm just going to select contour, then finish. So a contour map has been created. For some, let me just remove this. I'll add it later. For some of you, you'll be having this, right? The fill is going to be black. For some of you too, there will be no fill. So this is what you're going to have. It doesn't change anything. Just keep it like that. We are going to work on it. So let's say that this is what you have. I'm going to work with these people. So those who have this, you are good to go. Some of you will be having just this, no problem. Let's go on. The next one says it's set and properly label the axis. Create a contour map of Z and properly label the axis. So I'm going to label the axis for the left side and the bottom side. So I come to my content, I select the left axis, and I come to my property window. I look for title text. So I type the title in here. So from your work, you check it from your worksheet. So from my worksheet, I think this side, did I check? I think the world location, you have to check it from the world location worksheet. I think the world location worksheet, this side was Northings. I have my Northings. Then I go ahead and I make it bold, and I increase the width, the size. So I think this 28 is okay for me. And I select the bottom axis as well. Then I come to title, text, then Eastings. Then again, I increase the size. Then I bolden it. Yeah, so you can whatever you can make it italic or whatever. Change the color, but I prefer it this way. The next one says set the contour interval to 2000. So meaning that we are going to work on the contour. So you select contour here. There you can see contour interval. It's 1000. So I make it 2000. Yeah. Show major contour every 3. So major contour it's 5. So I make it 3. So you can follow me with the questions if you took a screenshot of it. The next one shows only the contour labels for the major contour. contour labels for major contour. So I scroll down. This is major contour. Show labels. Okay, it's already checked. But assuming yours was unchecked, you just have to check it for only major contour. Meaning I'm going to check minor contour and see if it's checked. Okay, show labels is unchecked. If it was checked, I would have just unchecked it. Because I'm to show major contour for only the contour labels for only the major, and highlights their color red. So I'm supposed to highlight the color of the major contour red. So I'm going to select the major contour, the line. Yeah, so you select the line, then you can see color. Then it's black. So you click on it and change this to red. So I have a red now. You can see it has appeared. The next one, increase the line width of the major contour to 0.03 line width. So this is the line width at 0. So 0.03, 0.03. Yeah. Then the next one, and fill the color contours with Rainbow 7 color map. So this is the fill, right? So you realize that some of yours already checked. Mine is unchecked, so I checked it. I have a black grayscale color, but they said the color should be Rainbow 7 color map, Rainbow 7. So I click here and I look for Rainbow 7. Okay, so this Rainbow 7. The next one says set the line style of the minor contour to 0.2 inch dash. The line style, not the line width. So I come to the minor contour, I click on the line style is solid. It's set to 0.02, 0.02 inch dash. So this is what? This is 0.1. So this is 0.2 inch dash. So I select it. Then the color should be 30% black. So it's already 30% black. But if you want to change it, you click on it and select. But since you said 30% black, we leave it that way. And black line. Okay, and the width of that one should be 0.01 inch. So 0.01 inch. So 0.01 inch. Yeah. Now we should add the 6,000 contour. If you have to add the 6,000 contour already, contour is selected. So we come to levels. Then we look for level method. Then we change it from simple to advanced. So over here, we come to contour levels, edit levels, we click on it, then we can add a contour. We are adding a 6,000 contour. So we select the 7,000, then we go to add. So automatically 6,000 was created. If it's not 6,000 you want, you know what to do. You just double click, then edit. But since it's 6,000 you want, we leave it. The next one says, after adding the contour, show the label. So this contour, we trace, the label is off, is no. I double click on it to make it yes. Then increase the line width to 0.02. So there's the line, it's 0.01. So I'm going to increase it to 0.02. And set the color to red. So there's the color, I'll change it to red. Then okay. And I can go ahead and apply and okay. The next one says we should add the color scale to the map. So over here, you can see again under the level method that's advanced and that's your level. You can see color scale. If yours is checked already, no problem. If yours is unchecked, you can just check it and have your color scale. The next one says set the scale to them at a frequency of 3. So the frequency. So now I want to work on the frequency of the color scale. You just have to select color scale here. Then there's the frequency. So you change the frequency to 3. And like that, it has changed something in here. And formats the symbol 3. So I'm going to, what's this? So I'm going to say this was my elevation. So I'm going to add, I'll go to labels. Yeah, labels, general, then title text. So let's say elevation. It's not always this way. So you have to check this thing, your data. And I change the left to top. And I'm going to increase the size and let me make it bold. Yeah, I think I prefer it this way. Let me move it a little bit here. Okay, so I think we have exhausted the questions. But since it initially says a map, this isn't a map, so I have to add my legend and my scale. So I come to map tools, but first I have to select my map. I come to map tools and I select scale. think my skill has been added. So my skill has been added. So I'm just going to position. Let me just go ahead and position it. Yeah, so I think I like my skill this way. And I also have to, but I'll come into something about it later. But I want to add my legend. So home, but first I select my map. And let's say I come to home, then I add a point. So I add a point here. Then I go ahead and select the point in here. Then change the symbol set to GIS not arrows. Then I select my not arrow. So now I can increase the size as well. Alright, so I like my not arrow this way. Yeah, so I think I've generated a map. But if I want to edit the scale, I just select the scale, map scale here. And I can, let's say I'm going to say scale. Yeah, about, yes. Then let's say I'm going to font properties. So let me increase the size. Yeah. And let's say I'm going to make it bold. Yeah, I think this is cool. This is cool. I think yeah, I like my map this way. You can, if you want to save the map and then export it as PDF with a resolution, you can just go ahead to file, then to export. Then you look for the folder you are working in. So since I was working, okay, I think I was working here. I was working here. And I'm going to save my file. Let's say tutorial one. And I'm going to change the file type to PDF. So look for PDF. Since there's a, yeah, you see the PDF, you have vector and raster. Since this is a raster, you already know what raster is and vector. So I'm going to choose raster and I'll save it. A pop-up will open and I set my resolution. So pixels per inch. Let's say they said your resolution should be 150, so I'm going to use 150 here. Then I leave the remaining ones the same, and I just okay, and it has been exported. So now let's go and look for how it has appeared. So I think there's tutorial one. So tutorial one. And I think so now this is my map. Isn't this beautiful? See,